This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Today we have the LG washing machine with the moldy, smelly door boot, the rubber door boot. And here's the part number for the new door boot. And we're going to be putting on this new one. The old one just has terrible black mold stains on it and we can't get rid of the smell. Pretty common problem for most front-loading washing machines. Keeping the door open all the time really does help though to keep down on the mold. So first thing we'll do is make sure it's unplugged, and we're going to pry off this outer ring with the standard head screwdriver, and then we're going to push the front of the gasket in toward the middle. It just makes it a little bit easier to work on. Another option to do this procedure is to remove the front panel, but you can do it with the panel still on, and there's less room to work, but it's definitely possible. It's a little bit faster. This tool is what we need to remove the inner spring clamp and also to put it back on. Kind of expensive, but really hard to do if you don't have this tool. So here's one on Amazon. You might be able to find it even cheaper, but it really makes a difference. So I'm putting the tool in position, one part on the clamp and one part on the spring, and I'm loosening it up and then pulling the whole thing toward me so it'll come off. Then I'll pull off the old spring clamp, and now I can get the old boot off. First I'm going to take off this little hose here at the bottom, remove the spring clamp with a pair of pliers and lift up so it lets go. And then I can pull off the old boot. I'm not sure if there's a place to recycle those, or we usually end up just throwing them away, unfortunately. Here's the old one. Here's the spring clamp. And now I'm getting some of the guck out of this little drain hose at the bottom. You know, it's a good time to do it because you have it opened up. So I'm just using a little screwdriver to get that dog hair out of there. Pretty common that hair and junk builds up in there, and then it doesn't drain very good from the inside of the door boot. We call it the bellows. So I'm using a pair of pliers now. I'm going to move that spring clamp that's on there down as low as I can get it. And then I'll take the spring clamp that used to connect it to the door gasket, and I'm going to put that one way down also on that same tube in preparation for when I do the reinstall. This makes it a lot easier. So I'm pushing it down lower than it's supposed to go. Then later I can easily slide it back up over the rubber boot. So I'm puncturing this gasket because it has the part for the drain hole, but it's not a real hole here. It's blocked by the rubber, so I'm making a little bit of a hole. That's going to allow water to drain through there. Be careful when you do that you stay inside this circle. So I'm just using a standard head screwdriver to poke through there, and then I'm going to pull out some of that rubber that's in the way, causing a hole that I can hook to that tube, and then water can just drain out from inside the bellows. So now I'm going to sped up the camera here a little bit, some liquid detergent on the inside seam. This is the seam that's going to go against the plastic tub. I want to lubricate it because it makes it a lot easier to put on. So this stuff's pretty slippery. This is just liquid detergent. I'm getting it all through that rim, just putting it on with my fingers. And then I can go ahead and install the new boot. I'm going to push it into that plastic rim right here where my fingers are. I'll start at the 12 o'clock position up at the top, push it in, and then I'll work around just an inch at a time to the right and to the left. So I got the top part lined up. I'm going to get the whole boot in there. Then I'll push the inside part of it into the metal spin basket to kind of get it out of the way so I can see better what I'm doing. Just fold it in. It's a little awkward. There we go. And now make sure everything's lined up. We got this drain thing at the 6 o'clock position at the bottom. Then I'll reach up to 12 o'clock and I'll start pushing it in. And I've already worked down here to 3 o'clock. I'm pushing it about an inch at a time. Sped up the camera here a bit so you can quickly see what's going on. Now I'm pushing it down toward the 9 o'clock position, just push it in, you'll basically feel it click into position all the way down to 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, just working all the way around. So make sure that you feel that that is really seated in there all the way around before you put on the spring clamp. There's a groove in the rubber where the spring clamp fits in, so you're going to put that back over the back of the gasket, and it's going to hold it down against the tub. So make sure that it fits into the groove all the way around. And then we're going to use the tool to put part of the tool into the end of the spring, and the other part of the tool will go into a little round piece on the wire, and then that'll help you to pull the spring to get it closer to the end. And then you're going to loop the end of the spring over a little hook in the wire. So that tool helps you to stretch the spring so you can get the end of the spring up over this little hook on the wire. Just take your time. Kind of hard to see. I like to pull the tub a little bit toward me so that it's easier to see what's going on. That makes a difference. You can get someone else to help you too. They can hold the tub towards you because the tub does move pretty easily. And I'm going to look at it. I'm going to bring that spring up over the hook, and there we go. We got it. So that tool really does help a lot. And I'm just confirming that that is on there nice and tight, and then I can remove the tool. I'll slip it out from underneath that spring. There we go. Here's in kind of a slow motion so we can see how that spring hooks up over that hook on the metal. You know, without that tool, it's pretty tricky. I bet there's a way to do it. I don't know without that. Just kind of an expensive tool. There are tool libraries where you can maybe rent it. Alright, so that's on. So now we're going to take the lower hose there, we're going to put it onto the bottom of the door gasket. And then once it's on, we can grab our pliers and we can depress the spring clamp and get it to go up over the rubber door boot to hold it onto that tube. I did put a little lubricant on the inside of that door boot where this tube goes in to make it easier. Just use liquid detergent. There we go. So now we'll take the outer part of the boot, put it over the front panel. There's a rim there, and then you're going to work it up over just inch by inch, kind of like how you did it on the back. This one's actually a lot easier to do though on the front. Going to work it around. I sped up the camera here a little bit. And then after that, we'll just put on the spring clamp on the front and we are done. So keeping that door open as often as possible will really help to keep the mold down. Also, wiping the inside dry of any water when the cycle is done can help. There's a product called Afresh that can also help to clean it. So I'm putting some more lubricant, which is the liquid detergent, on the outer spring clamp. This is a really important step to make it much easier to put on this outer spring clamp. And you can use a second set of hands from a friend will help you, or you can use a standard head screwdriver to help you kind of pry it on, or you can just do it yourself with your two hands. It's not too hard. You come down to about the 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock position and you stretch it, push down, stretch, keep pushing a little bit harder on your thumbs, and you get the spring to fit over at 6 o'clock, and that's it. You're done. Close it up and test it, make sure that there's no leaks. I'm just also wiping that glass bowl, and you're all set. Got a nice brand new gasket, no more bad smell. Hope that's been helpful to you, and please subscribe to our channel when you get a chance. Thanks for watching.